Water, the most forgotten nutrient. So why I selected this topic today? I'll let you know. And so what we are going to learn today, we are going to learn the importance of water and how the water is balanced and regulated. What are the ill effects of dehydration, ill effects of overhydration, and what is the right way of hydrating your body, which is nothing but optimum or proper hydration. So, very fine. Thank you. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
So you stay in London.
Yeah, yes. We've been since 2001. We've been living here, but in between, we stayed in India for 3.5 years.
Cool.
Recently moved again.
Okay.
I think we're waiting for.
Yeah, just 2 minutes. We'll wait and then we'll begin.
Yeah, sometimes initial glitches will be there.
Yeah. Happens. Hello, Amandeep. How are you?
Checking some system.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So is it still lockdown in London?
Yes, until 29th. So we are eagerly waiting for 1st of April.
So welcome, Sudha, Soma, Anjali Sharma. Can you switch on your cameras? Yes, I'll begin in 1 minute. Hi, Nikita. Welcome.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening. How are you?
Fine, great, thanks. You all can see the screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
So water, the most forgotten nutrient. You all agree with me, I think.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, let me proceed.
Hi Rajni, good evening.
Hi, Lata. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi everyone.
Hi.
So can you all unmute for a while? Sorry, mute for a while. So let's begin. Water, the most forgotten nutrient. So why I selected this topic today? I'll let you know. And so what we are going to learn today, we are going to learn the importance of water and how the water is balanced and regulated. What are the ill effects of dehydration, ill effects of overhydration, and what is the right way of hydrating your body, which is nothing but optimum or proper hydration. So water, the elixir of life, you all know about this, and why we need to know the importance of water. Because around 60 to 70% of the body weight. Excuse me, Sandhya, can you mute? Yeah, thank you. So why we need to understand the importance of water? Entire body weight, the maximum percentage, around 70% of the body weight is water, 60 to 70% approximately. So, and nowadays, throughout the world, there is alarming poor lifestyle diseases everywhere, irrespective of the countries. So what are those lifestyle diseases that are prevailing? Diabetes, blood pressure, increased blood pressure, hypercholesteremia, heart diseases, brain strokes, and premature deaths because of these reasons. No doubt, this is all because of food lifestyle, and that is also the main culprit is high consumption of calorie-rich sugar beverages and high salt processed food intakes. So, irrespective of age, so premature death, the main reason of premature death is because of these food lifestyle diseases. So, we need to understand. So, why? First of all, she
Yeah,
will.
whole family should,
Yeah, yeah.
Important is, main prime person is mother.
Yeah, and there is also a knowledge gap. So many of them are confused, like how much water, how much quantity has to be taken, and for proper hydration and all. So even there is a lot of confusion. Few say it is 6 to 8 glass. Even in my survey, there are so many answers. Few have written 4 to 5 glasses, 6 to 8 glasses, more than 10 glasses. Few have written 5 liters. So much. So there is no clarity among anybody, like the exact right quantity of fluid intake. So that's the reason why we are here today to understand. So, so what are the factors that influence the amount of water intake? Our age. So the water requirement, it differs with age from children, teenagers, early adults, and pregnant ladies, feeding mothers,
Athletes.
old age people also require water, but they suffer from dehydration also. But even the thirst mechanisms inside the body are not as easily sensed as in young adults, and it
Yeah,
differs
it
with age.
reduces.
Yeah, and gender. So male and female. It differs from male and female because of the body mass differs both in male and female. Body weight, basal metabolic index and basal metabolic rate. So body weight. So body weight is dependent. Suppose if there are two individuals of same weight, one person may be obese, person may be muscular, right? So it doesn't mean if they have similar body weight, their BMR is same. It is only out of calculation you get the same BMR. No, the person who is having high muscular body, his metabolic rate is high. He demands more water when compared with obese sedentary person. So
Mm.
let's not calculate in terms of weight. And dietary intake. Yes, when we have a high quantity of carbohydrates at one go, we feel sluggish. The body demands more water to digest it. And physical activities. Of course, when we work more, water intake is more because the cellular functions increase as per the physical activity, and cellular functions demands water. Stress levels. When you are under physical stress, mental stress, emotional stress, stress hormones are released. To protect from stress hormones, the body reduces the blood circulation so that the body parts will be protected from these stress hormones. So when the blood vessels constrict, what happens? You get, you
I,
feel that, yeah, you get the feeling of
high
thirstness,
pressure, thirst.
dehydrated.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So stress
constriction.
levels affect your hydration levels and sleeping patterns. Suppose if you are awake for the whole night, you must have experienced these the very next day, the effect on your body. You must be feeling thirsty the entire day.
Mm.
Yeah. So external factors like geographic location, of course, climate, high temperature zones, high altitude zones, desert areas, coastal areas, high humid zones, all demand lots of water because there is perspiration in the high temperature and humid zones, right?
Yeah, less oxygen. Yeah.
In high altitude areas.
Mm.
So water is a major component of the most of the body parts. You can see this image. So brain has 74.5% of water. So there are many vital organs in the body that consists of major percentage of water in their own organs. So every cell, every organs are made up of tissues, and again tissues are made up of cells. So every cell has certain amount of water. So there is difference as per the performance of the different body parts. There is difference in the content of the water, but still every organ has a certain percentage of water, including bones. So what does water actually do to your body? I should tell you, like our body, I think in my previous webinar, I told you the entire body has more than 73 trillions of cells. Every cell has its own organelles and every cell performs various biochemical reactions inside it. So to perform these various reactions, water acts as a reactant. It involves in various reactions. Other than that, see, it is also needed by the brain to manufacture certain hormones and neurotransmitters. So neurotransmitters are something like signals in between the nerve cells, and it regulates the body temperature. Suppose if you sweat a lot, I mean, suppose if you do workouts, your body's blood circulation will be very high to each and every corner of the body. So your body temperature, to regulate that temperature, you after physical workouts, you will have that sweating to cool your body. So 98.4 degrees Fahrenheit, it has to be maintained. So that body temperature to regulate, you need good amount of water in the body. So any imbalance will affect this balance in temperature, regulation in temperature. And it also acts as a shock absorber for brain and spinal cord. See, in between vertebrae, there are discs. These discs contains good amount of water. They act as a shock absorber in between vertebrae. If there is less water, they get herniated disc, slip disc problems may occur. So even joints. So we have different joints, leg joints, finger joints, hand joints, so many joints. We have neck, spinal cord, everywhere. So for free movement of the joints, water helps in lubrication. So through blood circulation, it also helps in the formation of saliva. It helps in digestion of the food you take. It releases various digestive juices. To release digestive juices, the body should be proper hydrated. And once the digested food is digested, the nutrients are absorbed through blood. And from the blood, the nutrients are taken into parts of the body, different cells through blood circulation. So again, the nutrients are taken inside the cells, and even the cells perform various functions, and that is called cellular metabolism. It releases certain waste. Even those waste are carried through blood, and then they are excreted through kidney in the form of urine. Even through perspiration, through sweat, few electrolytes are also released. See, yeah. So how does the body maintain water balance? So certain percentage of water is fixed for every body, like 2/3 of the body weight contains water. To maintain that amount of water, there is always a homeostasis in the body, water homeostasis called water balance. So it maintains by two methods. It regulates water intake and regulates the water loss. Let us see how it is. So fluids we take through water, juices, whatever, and water from food. And you should know what is metabolic water. As I said earlier, cell performs various functions in the body, and when it performs, that is called cellular metabolism. During metabolic activities, then water is released. So even that water is also counted. And water is lost in the form of fecal loss, sweat, and urine. So water that is taken in and water that is lost
Equal.
is balanced. Yeah, to maintain that 2/3 body weight.
Hmm.
You can see clearly in this. Are you able to see this? See, certain amount of water we take through food and drink, and certain amount of water through cellular metabolism is released around 0.3 liters. This is only approximate value, is not a clear value. Exact value we cannot say because it differs from body to body, right? So, and the water loss through skin in the form of sweat, lungs through respiration, and the urine and feces. This is output and input. So, this always happens in the body. So to balance this output, the input must be equal, a little more, definitely not less. It leads to dehydration. Yes, I have done a survey. Hope you all received it and you also filled it. Around 119 participants, I think they have filled the survey form. So these were the results I got for this question. How many glasses of water do you drink in a day? I was asking constantly for a few days in the WhatsApp group. So I got around 62% people drinking less than 6 glasses a day, 31% drinking 8 to 10 glasses a day, and 7% drinking more than 10 glasses a day. Still, we are not aware till now how much. I think questions must have raised in your minds like what is the exact amount I should take for proper hydration, isn't it? So before getting into the point, what is the exact right way of taking water or proper hydration, we should understand the effects of poor hydration of the body. So dehydration results due to poor hydration. Poor hydration is nothing but there is imbalance in maintaining the hydration of the body. Suppose if there is less intake than the water loss, it results in dehydration. Or it may be if the loss is more than the intake, it may result in dehydration of the body. So under poor hydration, we are going to understand what are the results in dehydration, factors that aggravate dehydration, and what happens to our body when we become dehydrated, and what are the common signs of dehydration. So factors that aggravate dehydration. Excessive sweating. This happens few individuals, they often sweat when compared with other persons in the family or adjacent persons. Like this is a very common problem for many. And such individuals are more prone to dehydration if the fluid intake is improper. And poor lifestyle habits that may result in dehydration. This is like diet, which has, I told you, like high calorie intake and the quantity also high intake, even excessive alcohol intake and excessive caffeine. Those who drink coffee 3 to 4 times, more than 2 times in a day, and it leads to dehydration. And high salty foods and late night dinners. Physical exercise. So excessive strenuous exercises like high intensity workouts, sports activities results in dehydration. Again, if you're not able to balance it with the proper intake, this results in dehydration. And excessive stress, as I said earlier, it releases stress hormones, and because of that, body undergoes into a protective mechanism, reduces the blood circulation, lowering the blood pressure, resulting in dehydration. Sleeplessness, keeping ourselves awake. So this I also discussed. If you are awake for the whole day, it will influence on the next day. So when you sleep, what happens? Body undergoes repair mechanism. Every cell in the body undergoes repair. If that does not happen on regular basis, it will show its negative impact on the body. You will be under irritating mood like aggressive mood, anxiety, depression. All these will lead if you doesn't sleep properly. I think this I've already discussed. High humid and high temperature zones, summer seasons. Summer season result in more perspiration, so better you carry a water bottle if you have a plan to go out. So, and pregnant women and feeding mothers. Uh, Pregnancy and breastfeeding demands more water than usual. So it's always better to have consume water on timely
And
basis.
disease condition as well, right?
Yeah, even in diabetes, they have a dehydration problem. So it's always better they to compensate and drink a lot of water. See, how you all understand that I need to drink water? Like, how do you feel? What sensation you get to drink water? Thirsty, feeling
First,
thirsty. Yeah, thirst. So
heavy
before,
head. So many.
before getting the sensation of thirst, body undergoes various compensation mechanism.
Yeah.
I told you body's weight, two-thirds of the body's weight is water. If in that two-third weight, if even 1% reduces, if the water content reduces even by 1%, the body undergoes steps into compensatory mechanism. You know what will happen? See, yeah. So there will be, as soon as the 1%, even the minute 1% reduction in water volume decreases the blood volume. Yes, we all develop the sense of sensation of thirstiness to drink water. So before getting this sensation, body undergo a compensative mechanism. See what happens if there is 1% less in the percentage of water in the body. There will be decrease in the blood volume. Blood becomes more concentrated with the electrolytes and it lowers the blood pressure. Signals reach from brain sends signals to the heart to lower, to pump more to maintain that blood pressure. Cells also shrink. As I told you earlier, cells perform various metabolisms, various metabolic reactions in the body. So cells also compensate, they shrink, reduce the number of reactions inside, and the water is pulled out from the cells to maintain blood pressure. So water is pulled out from the cells into the blood to maintain the water content in the blood. And the heart rate increases to maintain the blood pressure. Signals, brain also sends signals to kidneys to urinate less and retain the water. Then thirst center stimulates. Many among you in the group personally message me ki, when they get the sensation of thirst only they drink water, and they say this is the right way of drinking water. It is not like 6 to 8 glasses, 9 to 10 glasses. Whenever you feel thirsty only, you have to drink water. This is what I was told by many. So I think to avoid these compensatory mechanisms, the better don't let the body wait to feel thirsty. Padma Priya, I think you have to mute, please. So what are the early signs of dehydration? So increased thirst, fatigueness, tiredness, dizziness, headache. I commonly experience headache if I drink less water. This is my first symptom, and I'm prone to migraines. So those who are more prone to migraines, they should be very careful in water intake. They always should keep hydrated well. Otherwise, if once migraine hits, entire day vanishes. And decreased urine content, sticky dry mouth. Yes, sticky dry mouth, dryness of the mouth, and loss of skin elasticity. Yes, skin elasticity is lost because cell membranes, cell structure, everything it consists of certain percentage of water, as I told you earlier. If that water percentage reduces, again skin wrinkle formation will be more. As we age, generally it is more. So if you take less water, it aggravates. And irritability, mood. So we often get irritated, mood disturbance, mood swings. If this prolongs, what will happen? Suppose if we unattend to our signs of dehydration, what this will lead to? I'll tell you. See, these are the early signs of dehydration. See, before getting to this thirst sensation, already body is under compensatory mechanism. It has already deviated a step from the routine. Suppose if these signs are unattended and prolonged on long duration, what
I
happens?
will faint.
Yeah, I'll come to you. I'll come to you. See,
That
you
happens around 10% reduction of water. I mean, more deleterious
this is
things
yeah.
happen around. Yeah.
See, the percentage of water gradually decreases once you leave these signs unattended. So what will happen? Your fatigueness, tiredness levels go
Already.
to the extreme. Okay, headaches may lead to migraine headache severity, and duration also increases. And mucosa, eye dryness, and mouth dryness. Mouth dryness results in again bacterial aggravation leading to caries and
Cognition
gum.
effects.
Yeah, I'm coming. And eye dryness, burning sensation in eyes, dark
Stinging.
decreased urine. So when the urine concentration increases, we are more prone to urinary tract infections. And the loss of skin elasticity. So losing glow in the skin, irritation, itching, wrinkles, all these occur, and sun damage, pigmentation. It's where once the skin loses its elasticity, skin becomes dry, it is more prone for pigmentation due to sun exposure, suntan, even suntan. Irritability, yes, mood, irritation, getting angry, slowly getting into depression, worrying for no reason. So all these aggravate, and finally, the dizziness aggravates, we faint. Why do we faint? Again, the concentration. See, as I told you, as the cellular metabolism goes on, even cellular waste are produced. These wastes have to be removed timely from those cells. If those wastes are not removed, if they keep circulating in the blood, the toxins accumulate in the body, causing damage to various organs. And the kidney will be
Sodium potassium imbalance.
kidney will be unable to filter urine properly, causing kidney dysfunction. Okay, got it? Yes, let's talk about the opposite, overhydration. So around a very less percentage people are overhydrating in my survey. You have seen people drinking more than 3 liters, 4 liters, 5 liters. You don't know about their lifestyle yet, why they are drinking that much water. So drinking too much water causes water intoxication. So overhydration. So what happens? When we drink more water than required, all the nutrients gets diluted in the body. The body's regulating mechanism, water regulating mechanism, is disturbed when there is dilution or concentration of sodium levels in the body. So when during overhydration, there will be dilution of sodium levels. It is called hyponatremia.
Hyponatremia.
Yeah. So what happens when this occurs? The water in the blood enters, you can call them as fluids, enters inside the cells. Body somehow tries to compensate to maintain the hydration levels. So it also sends signals. Brain also sends signals to kidney to remove excess water, to filter excess water. So workload on kidney increases. If this goes on everyday basis, so there is lot of compensation in the body. On long run, it is going to hinder the function of the kidneys. So overhydration always affects kidneys, leading to kidney dysfunction. And if there is more fluid accumulation in the brain, it leads to life-threatening cause. It may even leads to death. This happens on long run, continuing overhydration on daily basis. It can even cause vomiting, poor appetite, nausea. Nausea means vomiting sensation. Also tiredness, hallucinations, imagining something.
Mhm.
This is not there. Swelling in the brain and restlessness. So we often connect, especially women, we connect these symptoms to menopause. Restlessness, pettiness, all these things, we always blame our hormones. So we need to have that clear picture. Is it because of hormones or is it because of over water intake or less water intake? So once you gain knowledge on this, I'm sure you'll be correcting those basic steps in your daily life so that you'll have a better life. That's the motto of these webinars. So let's have a quick look on dehydration and overhydration symptoms. Almost similar symptoms. Headaches are common, and muscle cramps. Yes, muscle cramps will be very severe in dehydration. And we think this is because of magnesium deficiency, calcium deficiency, vitamin D deficiency. Everything we blame on vitamins too. So even muscle cramps, if you have muscle cramps, you have to think about your intake of water. Hope by this time you all must be thinking what is the exact amount of water intake, Dr. Rajni. This must be you must be thinking in your minds. Think, Dr. Shiba. So what is the optimum hydration? So how much amount of water consumption our body needs daily? See, scientifically, based on scientific research, based on your urine color chart, you have to identify your proper intake of water. Your urine color decides your hydration levels. Can you see? So pale yellow, till pale yellow, it's fine, fair enough. If it is going beyond dark yellow or amber, brown and red, so that shows how dehydrated you are, what extent you are dehydrated. Hope this will be easy to understand. So make sure you always check your urine levels, whether you are hydrated or dehydrated or overhydrated. Sometimes color of the urine always says about your health. See, this brownish color indicates, brownish orange indicates the liver disease, which you have to be alert and consult doctor. And sometimes pinkish red in urinary tract infection. This is called hematuria because of infections. And due to genetic diseases also, urine color will change to blue or green. And sometimes it is forming due to kidney diseases. So you all have to be alert when you see such deviation in the urine color. Sometimes even multivitamins, taking multivitamins, multiminerals, and eating blueberries, beetroot also add some
Beetroot,
color.
yeah.
Yeah, add some color to urine, but that will be temporary on that single day basis or what. So don't worry about that. Don't think that because of B vitamins, my the color is dark yellow, so I have to take lots of water. No, no, no. So try to understand the difference also. So I told you how much quantity to drink water to hydrate yourself. It depends on the color of your urine. So how much quantity I need to take on daily basis to hydrate myself in a balanced way? So that you can understand through the color of the urine. And what is the best time to drink water? As soon as you get up in the morning, you can drink water at least minimum 2 glasses. Then after workouts, before workouts and during workouts, and before taking bath, and half an hour before your breakfast, half an hour before lunch and dinner. So whenever, again, 150 ml, 200 ml approximately before going to bed. So when you're feeling sick, means when you are ill, when your body is fighting from infection, So body cellular activity is at higher rate. So the body demands more water. So we need to drink more water to flush out the toxins from the body. And when you feel tired, exhausted, the body is demanding more water. So when surrounded by
Sometimes our
infection,
hunger also masks it. Sometimes we feel it is hungry, but we need to check
yeah,
how long is it
yeah,
thirsty or hungry. That
yeah,
happened a lot of time initially, 5, 6 years ago for me.
yeah.
After eating so
Then
much junk, something also it never settled. Then I realized, oh, it's water time, not hungry.
so how do you differentiate between hunger and thirstiness? Like how do you differentiate whether the body is demanding water or food?
Yeah, that is what I learned on a, I tried to observe how long before I drink what. Sometimes we forget if we are stuck with something. And
Yes.
when we feel hungry, we just try to reach food. Then slowly I learned maybe it is thirsty. Let me try and see.
Yeah.
And after drinking one glass, if it settles, it's fine. Then again, we need to check how long before we drank and how long before
Yes.
we ate. Do we
Yes.
really require some food or not? It's on a trial
Yeah.
and error basis, we'll come to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Even if the content of the food, if it is less fiber, more carbohydrates also, even for digestion, it will be very difficult in the body. There is very less water. Even that time also it gives you sensation of thirst.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to understand our body. Need to observe more. Yes, this was my survey. Do you drink water as first thing in the morning? 75% of the people they said yes. That's amazing. And 10% no, and 14% at times. So this hope you all those 10% and 14% must have understood now that we need to drink water as soon as we get up in the morning, as first thing in the morning. That helps to flush up with the toxins from your digestive tract. That water, that particular hydration will pull away all the waste from your digestive tract. So make sure you drink water as first thing in the morning, at least 2 glasses, around 500 ml. And the other question is, do you drink water just before going to bed? So hardly 61% answered me yes. So why we need to take water just before going to bed? As I said earlier, when you sleep, the body undergoes repair mechanism from cellular level to organ level. So when you sleep, this water is utilized for various cleansing activities inside the cell to remove the toxins especially. So it's better to take water before going to bed and to avoid the feeling of thirstiness when you are sleeping. So there
Hi,
are
Dr. Rajni. I have a question regarding the nighttime. I mean, just before sleep, if we drink water, won't we have to take more like bathroom breaks in the
that's
night?
what I told you. Make sure you confine water to 150 ml.
Yeah, I had this problem. I used to drink water in the night, and then again when I wake up and then go for restroom break, I drink again, and then after 2 hours I have to get up again. So once I stop drinking in the night, I don't have to get up. I get a good undisturbed sleep.
Yeah, I understood. It depends on the water intake before also. It is not just the 100 and 150 ml just before bed. It depends on the amount of water you already have taken before food. If you haven't emptied that, that may result you to be awake in the midnight. So once you get up in the midnight also, you can have only few sips of water, not a big glass. In that way you can avoid.
Okay.
Okay. So I tell you one important point also what happens related to disc in between the vertebrae also. Those discs are filled with fluid. Even the water what you take at night before bed, that water is utilized to replenish those discs, exchange water. So it maintains the water content of the disc at night when you sleep. So When the disc perform the proper cushioning function, your vertebrae and the spinal cord will be. So if it doesn't perform well, suppose if you don't hydrate yourself well, especially before going to bed, I mean to say little quantity then. So what happens on long run as we age? So there will be disc prolapse, disc or slip disc and herniated disc. All these problems may occur. This is one of the research reason for slip disc, which are recently. So what are the ways to hydrate your body? So there are many ways to hydrate your body, and many of you must have understood by this time through our group infused waters. Infused water. This was going on since many days. My perspective, like, is talking about infused water, different types of infused water, is to inculcate that habit in you all to hydrate yourself through fruits, vegetables, infused water. So you get all the water soluble nutrients through infused water, the nutrients from fruits and vegetables, which are water soluble. So you get it when you drink. So it's always better to drink infused water rather than plain water. See, look at my infused water bottle. And the other ways are soups, salads, water-rich vegetables and fruits, fruit and vegetable juices without fiber. You can just squeeze the juice and have it as first thing in the morning after 2 glasses of water. And the coconut water, buttermilk, lemon honey, or lemon water. It's all your choice. See, in infused water, we have spices, infused water, herbs, infused water, and even teas. So, any doubts still here? Any doubts?
No, doctor.
What about the store-bought juices, which are sugary?
Store-bought juices means?
Which are sugary, shouldn't we avoid it?
Yes, yes. So these are the ways to hydrate your body, right way to hydrate your body. And the thing which you are talking about, like squashes, even aerated drinks, the store-bought juices contain preservatives. So it's always better to have a natural form.
I want to add one more, like clear vegetable soup, the best. One more
Yes.
thing. Of course, you mentioned soups and
Yeah,
all.
yeah. Soups in any form.
Yeah, of course. But clear vegetable is more water and less veggies. It's one of the another. It's
Yeah.
an addition. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is infused waters? Those who are in the group must have understood what is infused water. So infused means anything that you add to water, like fruits, vegetables, spices, teas, all the nutrients leach from those vegetables into water, nutrients that are water soluble. So that's why you feel so refreshed when you drink this type of water than regular water. So water soluble nutrients, mostly B vitamins, vitamin C, when you get hydrated with these nutrients, so even the cells will be so happy when you're getting the right amounts, uh, because they get destroyed so soon in the body. It gets eliminated so soon in the body. So when you keep replenishing on everyday basis, the balance will be maintained. That's why you feel so refreshed
Mm.
and active. Yes, weight loss, I think, is an interesting topic for everybody. Yes. So when I spoke about this infused water, I want you to understand varieties of combinations that help you to lose your belly fat. For women, this is a very common problem after pregnancy, after deliveries. Uh, Belly fat is a common problem. So already we have, because of this fat muscles and tissues, whatever fat, extra fat, go and settle there in the belly, resulting in belly fat. This is a very common issue for all the women and even men nowadays. So cucumber, lemon, these are the various combinations. Ginger, lemon, cucumber, lemon, strawberry, oranges, apple, cinnamon. and so on. And fluids for weight loss. Detox, yes. Whatever water you're drinking in the morning helps in detox, especially chia seed water. I advise you to take as a first thing in the morning. This, when you have a cheat meals and late night meals or any high fat processed food in the dinner, uh, you feel sluggish the very next day. So try to drink this chia seed water. Soak the chia seeds in around 250 ml. Just add 1 teaspoon of chia seeds at night. Then you drink this chia seed water the very next day, the morning. The proper cleanse of your digestive tract. Even if this also removes the bad bacteria that has developed in your tract because of the processed food.
So unlike jeera and methi water, we consume chia seeds as well, right? It is
Chia
best to
seeds, that's
consume
what I'm
together with
telling.
water.
See, chia seeds are best for detox, to cleanse your digestive system. Infused water, we are not taking the fiber. We are just taking the soluble nutrients in the water. Whereas chia seeds, we are taking the entire chia seeds also.
Entire.
It is
Yeah.
overloaded with fiber. The fiber is used to cleanse the system, digestive system.
Yes.
So it will pull away the bad bacteria along with it. So if you have late night dinner, heavy fat diets like processed food or late night parties, whatever, and the very next day you feel sluggish. So I want you to begin with chia seed water until the bowels or bowel movements are proper enough and clean, and the digestive system is clean enough. Till that time, you can have the chia seed water. So you can have around 500 ml of chia seed water in the morning with 2 teaspoons of chia seeds that are soaked overnight.
Can I ask a question? Have you researched about these sabja seeds that are available? There are actually
I don't know
some
what is
bad and some good sabja seeds.
I don't know what is sabja.
Oh, okay.
It must be a Hindi word, I think. I need to check about it.
We call it. Okay.
See,
Okay,
when your
continue.
digestive system is not cleansed well, your digestive system is not cleansed well, your digestion won't be proper. When there is no proper digestion, your intake of diet is also not proper. When the digestive system is good, so you get proper nutrients from your diet to entire body, and metabolism will also be good. So if you have a sluggish body because of the toxins that are written in your digestive tract, your digestion will be poor. So chia seeds help in detoxing those bad bacteria from your digestive tract. And mixed vegetable juice also helps in cleansing your digestive tract. Lemon water, of course, the basic lemon water. If you have who doesn't have any time for all these things, you can always prefer lemon water as first thing in the morning. But make sure you use 1 medium-sized lemon per 1 liter of water. Otherwise, it will damage the enamel. Lemon causes many of them have doubts. So I have seen many using one full lemon for 1 glass of water. No, that is not advisable. Medium size 1 lemon for 1 liter water, it has to be diluted. So accordingly, you try to have, you can begin with 2 glasses of water in the morning. So for weight loss, you need to detox well. You have to keep your digestive system clean and the metabolism. You have to boost your metabolism also. Metabolism is nothing but the rate at which every cell performs its function. At the rate at which the faster and slower. So the rate at which it performs its function is more, then definitely the metabolism is also more. When the metabolism is more, the amount of blood circulation reaching each and every cell, every part of the body is also proper and more. So the nutrients reach every cell in a proper way. Then your total body will be healthy. And the amount of fat consumption will also be increased. When the metabolism is more, the body demands more energy. So that's how you can reduce the fat also in the body. So to boost your metabolism, try to prefer ginger teas, cinnamon, turmeric tea with pepper. All these different combinations you can try. So this you can metabolism boost teas you can use before like half an hour before food. breakfast, lunch, dinner, instead of plain water, you can prefer these ginger teas, cinnamon teas, turmeric. And turmeric tea always it's mandatory to use pepper because pepper enhances the absorption of the curcumin, which is a phytochemical, an antioxidant that is present in turmeric. Oh. So any doubts regarding weight loss? Anybody wants me to ask any question?
Yeah, Rajni, I just need to include something here. There is something called Dahashamani in Kerala. We Karingali Vellam we call it. That is water which is mixed with many herbs. We drink, we boil and drink. You can find it in any Kerala household. So I guess that's probably a weight loss infused water that you can include it in. We add things like padimugam, which is it is called cisalpiniae. It's called sappan wood, which is red in color. The bark, we add it in that, and then we also add something called dry ginger. It will be there. Then there will be many herbs are there, which are very good for the body, botanicals.
Amazing. I
So,
think I would love to connect to you later after this webinar to know more about these herbs, which is a very interesting topic for weight loss. I think it's
you can
very-
find it in any Kerala household. Even in restaurants, when you come to Kerala, it will be red colored water that they serve. Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
interesting.
just an addition to this.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shiba, for sharing. I'll get back to you
Thank
soon.
you.
Yeah.
Sure.
And beauty. So when the body doesn't meet proper hydration levels, so it goes into dehydrated mode. That results in acne, dry skin, and under eye blackness under eye, and red, dry skin, painful sunburns. As I told you, if you have dry skin because of less water intake, dry skin is more prone to sunburns than pigmentation. So dry hair and brittle hair. So these are even if this continues on long run, even the experience hair fall too. Because the hair becomes brittle even when you comb, you lose hair. So anybody suffering from hair fall, I think this is one of the reasons you have to look into. And hydrated. Well hydrated, of course, the other opposite. Healthy scalp, strong hair and nails, clear, bright eyes, yes, sparkling eyes. Helps in weight loss. White helps in weight loss, of course. Helps in removal of the toxins, which I missed this point. Suppose if the toxins are piled up in your body at the cellular levels also, the fat is retained in the body to protect you from the toxins. So how much hard work you do in the gym, yoga, or whatever, your body will not let out that fat if the toxins are retained in the body. So it's very a must for you to detox the body to so that the body will get rid of all these toxins. More toxins, more fat is retained in the body. So it's difficult for weight loss. If the toxins are removed from the body, your skin will be glowing, your eyes will be sparkling, and you will be at ease to reduce weight. Stay well hydrated for a healthy living. Any questions from anybody?
Ma'am, I have a small question. This is actually a myth around drinking water, which I have heard multiple times. I don't know if it is right or no. They say you should never drink water while standing because it fastly moves through your esophagus and the nutrients are not very well absorbed. Is that true? You should always drink water only while sitting.
Yes, even I had so, but I don't know how far it is true. They say because there will be pressure on your joints. This is what I
Yeah.
was told. Like
Mhm.
scientifically speaking, as a doctor, I'd say ki how long you are standing and drinking water.
Hmm. Uh,
By the time you drink water, it has to reach your stomach, reach your intestine, gets absorbed into the body. It takes time.
yeah.
So it is like how fast you are drinking and how long you are drinking. That
Okay.
actually applies.
Hmm.
Go in a moderate way.
Got it. Thanks.
Ayurveda
And
has some answer for this actually. Ayurveda,
yes,
according to Ayurveda, they say you should not
yeah,
drink
yeah,
by
yeah, yeah.
standing. But yeah, it's again a debate.
Yes. Because even research is coming up with multiple answers nowadays, which we are not even aware. It keeps changing and evolving.
Mm.
And one more thing I would like to add one point. There are many people who do only water fast.
Hmm.
So water fast, they generally have lemon honey the entire day. It is like fasting with water. As I told you earlier, water has a homeostasis mechanism to regulate the hydration levels in the body. Right. When we drink more water than required, even that is triggered. And when we drink less water than required, even that is triggered. Suppose if we drink more water, what happens, as I told you earlier, dilution of various nutrients happens, especially sodium ions. If the sodium ions are reduced more and more, what happens in the body? Hyponatremia. Blood pressure also fluctuates. More fluid enters into the brain, leading to uh, dangerous situations, even death. So I say those who run marathons and those who climb mountains and those who are into strenuous activities like intense workouts, if they just when they are sweating, if they just drink plain water, even the sodium ions keep more diluted because even the water is also excreted through urine later. So low sodium ions in the body again is a dangerous signal. So that's why, like Gatorade, those who are into sport activities, that's why Gatorades, which has minimum energy and electrolyte, which is electrolyte rich, they have to drink such type of drinks during their workouts. So those who are under fasting, I don't think they take sodium in water. This is a like question mark. They have to think about it. It may lead to low sodium levels in the body, which will be very endangering. Any questions?
Sure, Dr. Rajni, I would like to thank you because although everybody says you should drink a lot of water, but thank you for this webinar because it has reiterated the fact that one should indeed drink a lot of water. But I guess we should have, if somebody tells you that you should drink more water and why is it you tell all the the pros and cons behind it, then you tend to think about it more because in our fast life we forget all these things, drinking water, and unless you are very disciplined about your health you hardly think about these things. So yeah, thank you. And today, while listening to your webinar, I also kept a bottle of water near me. So
Thank you. I would like to show my infused water bottle, but today
Yeah, I'm here.
Wow, good. So that purpose of this webinar is for that only, like to gain knowledge. Once you gain knowledge and you are aware of do's and don'ts, I'm sure it will be at ease for us to follow. There won't be any hard rules, strict rules for us. Yeah, I have to drink this much. There won't be any pressure in our minds to take this healthy step. And we know many nutrients. We have been already listening about many nutrients, carbohydrates, carbs, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals. Everybody are listening about these nutrients, but nobody speaks about water in detail. And we understood that two-thirds of the body's weight is water. And why should we ignore that?
Yeah, and also I was amazed by the migraine connection with water intake because I had very bad migraines till since I joined for my PhD program. That was about 20 years back, and since then I've been having migraines. So I don't know what it was. Recently, when my doctor told me that you have to get your eyes checked, you have to get your teeth examined. So
Yes,
all those
yes.
things I fixed it, and I had a regular medication, and my migraines disappeared for a while, but then it again came back
Yeah.
very infrequently. Now, earlier it was much worse, but yeah, I should look at my water intake also. That is actually a new information for me.
Yeah. Because I'm also more prone to migraines. In my observation, I get migraine attacks, frequent attacks in summers. So I used to wonder why it happens in summers. So when I understood this concept of water and I implemented in my life, the recurrence and occurrence of migraines have been reduced. That's why I'm sharing my personal experience too.
Same, I
Yeah.
had the similar experience. I was a migraine patient. I knew my triggers. Luckily, it was coffee and tea, nothing else. I stopped them. Then the correction has happened with water. Because this person called, I think many of the Telugu people know, Mantana Satyanarayana. He introduced water lecture and he changed the whole entire Andhra and Telangana with this water. So since 2008, I don't do exactly what he says, but I understood how water is important, and it
And
really reduced migraine attacks.
yeah, yeah. And water intake during fasting. As I said earlier, there are many people who consume tea, milk-based teas and coffees during fasting. They say they are under fasting, but they consume a lot of chai, tea. I've seen that in northern part of India. They consume a lot of tea, especially in winters during fasting. Uh, Tea, water, this milk-based tea and coffee causes dehydration in the body when you because they contain caffeine. When you consume in excess, especially during fasting, leads to dehydration. Fasting is very good for health, but not you should not include this milk-based tea and coffees. Completely against during fasting. This you all should keep in mind. Any questions from anybody? I personally experience if I reduce the intake of water, especially during traveling, this is very challenge. This is a big challenge for everybody, especially women face this challenge while traveling on road by road long hours. So wantedly we reduce the intake of water. It's okay once in a while, but I immediately see the changes in my skin, especially on my face. I can feel the dryness the very second day. So I'm very sensitive to water intake. If I take less, those results can be seen in me. So you want glowing skin, sparkling eyes, start drinking water, especially infused water. And don't forget to drink before going to bed.
Yeah.
So summers are coming up. Try to increase the intake of water to keep hydrated well. Okay. Any more questions?
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.